What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JV from JBM Sports Media coming at you guys with our Saturday night divisional round reactions. Yes, we had two games today. One of them was incredible. The other one was very much so a blowout and kind of a disappointment, if I could be quite frank. We're about to get into both of them right here, right now. Starting off with the game that kicked off divisional round weekend. And yes, I'm talking about the Denver Broncos defeating the Buffalo Bills at Mile High. Final score in an OT thriller, 33-30. JV, I'll throw it immediately to you. Would you like, first and foremost, we'll talk about the Bo Nix thing in a second. What are your thoughts on this game and key moments in this game that immediately stood out?
Well, the biggest thing to me is that the amount of turnovers that the Buffalo Bills sustained today, and at the hand of their own quarterback. Josh Allen with the two interceptions. He actually fumbled 3 times and lost 2 of them, totaling in 4 turnovers. So that can't happen to a team that is so good defensively. They knew that they were going up against this defensive juggernaut in the Denver Broncos defense. That they really do get after the quarterback and they can stop the run, but they couldn't stop Cook today. They honestly couldn't. He was doing a really good job helping Allen, get down the field in some big moments. I thought that was a really key thing too. That the Buffalo Bills run offense was really good today. And I'm just, it's again, they shot themselves in the foot early, bro. They shot themselves in the foot with that, especially at the end of the second quarter. The way the second quarter ended with him fumbling, and they had enough time to kick a field goal, and they gave up 10 points in about 18 seconds. It was like ridiculous. And the way they ended that first half was unacceptable, honestly. And the way they came out in the second half, they had a lot more fire and poise, but it just wasn't enough. And they shot themselves in the foot with some penalties at the end, 2 bad pass interference calls. Obviously a bad another bad call where I think there was a personal foul that was called on a safety as well. I mean, they just were getting sloppy. And again, it's Josh Allen losing another playoff game. And we were saying it for the last 2 weeks. There's no Lamar Jackson, there's no Joe Burrow, and there's no Patrick Mahomes. And this is the clearest path for Josh Allen to get to the Super Bowl and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And he's just not going to be there again. And I think this is the maybe a signal that the end is near for McDermott as well. I think the way they played today, it's maybe they'll chalk it up to bad coaching, and they want better coaching around Allen. Maybe that's how the front office will see this, and this may be the end for McDermott. And the Broncos are moving on, but obviously, I'll throw it back to you. The biggest thing I think we could both talk about here is Bo Nix is breaking his ankle and needing surgery on Tuesday. What do you think is going to happen now that Jarrett Stidham is the quarterback coming into the AFC Championship game? No matter who he plays, whether it's Houston or New England, how do you see this pairing out?
Yeah, just to give my quick thoughts on the game before I get into that. I mean, I thought this game was absolutely exceptional. Like, I thought all around this was a classic, a divisional round classic. There's a lot of times there was a lot of classics at Mile High. That stadium produces a lot of classic, and this was one of them right here. Even with the turnovers that Josh Allen had, I mean, the fact that the Bills were still in this game, taking this game to overtime, Prater with that 50-yard field goal at the end to force it to OT was huge. And then the Bills had their moments in overtime, and it came down to Allen. And I don't even know why he threw that deep ball. He didn't have to settle 3rd and 10 for a deep ball like that. He didn't have to, but that was an interception. I know a lot of people are saying, is that an interception? It was. You were battling for the football all the way to when he flipped over. That's an interception. And that's just a costly mistake, another costly mistake about Josh Allen. I have my words about him. I'll save it towards the end of this segment talking about this game. But what a posed drive by Bo Nix. The first pass interference, I do believe that was pass interference. The last one, though, I don't believe that was pass interference. I think in that last one, let him play. The first one, though, yeah, you could give him that pass interference. I would say that's fair because he was tugging him all the way. So I'll say yes, but talking about the Bo Nix injury, this is absolutely putrid. I mean, Peyton Manning was on the sideline. Is there a way he could get a phone call or something like that? Like maybe Phillip Rivers? I mean, one more? I mean, I don't know. Jarrett Stidham in the AFC Championship game? What is this? A Nick Foles 2.0? Like, what are we doing here?
This is going to be it's going to be the toughest road now is the Denver Broncos. I don't care that they're playing at home. I mean, you have a guy that hasn't really played in a decent amount of time, and Bo Nix was the guy making plays for this offense. To be honest with you, he's been really good. Especially the last couple of weeks. Forget about the whole year, but he's been really solid the last couple of weeks, and the fact that he's out is really, really going to be interesting to see how this Denver Broncos offense operates with Jarrett Stidham now, taking over the offense. So I'm going to see what Sean Payton has up his sleeve when it comes to play calling. But you gotta think that they're going to be praying that they can rely on the run game a little bit, because tonight I think it was 22 carries and 71 yards,
Right.
As a total for the run offense, which is a little underwhelming. But Bo was making plays, and that's what it was. He was using his feet and he was using his arm. And I think the one negative that they had tonight was they got to Cortland Sutton too late. I think his first catch was with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which is unbelievable to me. You got to get him in. You got to get him in, involved a little bit more. But now that he's out, it's going to be tough to see who gets the ball at all. And I think guys like RJ Harvey and guys like McLaughlin as well are going to have to step up in the run game and really help this offense out, because if Stidham is going to turn the ball over, then forget it. It's wraps at that point. So they're going to have to help him protect the ball and make the best decisions possible. So we'll see what happens with Peyton and the play calling.
Yeah, I'm very upset. I'm a Oregon Ducks fan, and a lot of people know that. I mean, Bo Nix is my guy, and even Troy Franklin. I mean, he went out. By the way, FanDuel, I'll say this right now, FanDuel, that's pretty shitty what happened with Troy Franklin. By the way, I took him for a prop. For people that don't know, there is a thing going around on Twitter as well. They wanted Troy Franklin to get voided. He wasn't on the field. I think he might have been on the field for one snap, and obviously, he went out for a hamstring injury he suffered. They didn't void it. I lost my parlay. Funny enough, the rest of it hit. It is what it is. But I mean, it's.
I believe that. Honestly, I believe they took it away, bro.
Yeah.
I was seeing something last week where they had took that insurance policy away, where if the guy got hurt in the first quarter, they would give you, a credit back, and they actually took it away. And
what a joke!
I think that's why maybe you're not getting any
type
of credit back. It's crazy. The amount of money that platform makes, for them not to be able to credit people, is ridiculous. They're just going to bet with the money that you give them back. So it's like, I don't know why you don't do that. Like it's going to go right back onto a bet.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me how they operate, but
it is what it is. I do believe Sean Payton's play calling at the very end, getting risky, throwing deep balls that did end up causing the pass interference penalties against the Bills. That was, pretty smart. I thought that was really smart because they were fighting on it. They got very sloppy on it. And shout out the Broncos for that. Regardless, obviously the Bo Nix injury is very unfortunate, but this is a huge win for them, taking out the Bills, who a lot of people actually saw Buffalo going into this game. I know our friend Mike, actually, he had the Bills going all the way in his prediction. He had the Bills winning the Super Bowl. But look, I just feel like the Bills, and I'll put this thing right here on Twitter that I saw. I'll throw it up. Josh Allen has questioned the best running back in the league. Cook, he led the year in rushing yards. One of the best O-lines, best pass defense in the league. It's time to have a conversation. And I do believe it is, because if it was Lamar Jackson in this situation, or even Joe Burrow, I do believe they would have got scrutinized super, super heavy. I think this guy deserves to get scrutinized, because I think
100%.
4 turnovers, costly, especially that one at the end of the first half that resulted in 3 points, which always will be very pivotal. You never know when those 3 points come into a factor. And guess what? They did, because Denver won by 3 points today. So, look, I think there needs to be a conversation about Josh Allen, because, look, there's no Mahomes, no Lamar, no Burrow in the playoffs. And guess what? You made it out and you couldn't even get to the AFC Championship, buddy. So what are we going to say?
Yeah. Listen, and personally, with our conversations, even on the show, off the show, I've criticized Lamar Jackson for not being able to win big games. And guess what? Josh Allen is right behind him. And guess what? Maybe even in front of him. He has lost a lot of big games. And it's time to really have this conversation. Maybe we could do this on another show and have this conversation of why all these AFC quarterbacks, besides Patrick Mahomes, can win a big game. Because, Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl. That's all good, but he did lose the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah,
and he hasn't gotten back since. So, and they haven't even made the playoffs the last couple of seasons as well. So we have to also acknowledge that. So, we can have a whole show on the three quarterbacks that aren't performing as good as Patrick Mahomes has. So, but right now, Josh Allen is the guy to be kicking on the floor while he's down, because this is something that's unacceptable. You had so many good teams that didn't make the playoffs, and you had an easy route to get to the Super Bowl. I don't want to say easy, but your team was good enough to beat all of these teams that you were going to play, and you just dropped the ball. And not only did you drop the ball, but you were kind of the reason why you lost. So that's the hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, and it's another year where, I know this year was special for the Bills because of it being the last year at Orchard Park, or the Ralph, as they like to call it, and they thought it could amount into a championship, especially with this road that they had. Just didn't come into fruition. And look, you could blame that on a lot of different things this year for the Bills. Run defense, that's a big thing. Look, I think the way that the Broncos won this game, it was a very special way that Peyton had the play calling towards the end, and I think that's what led them to win this game. I think at the end, when it mattered most, he out coach, I would have to say, McDermott in different fashions of the game, and I think that's perfectly describing McDermott's tenure just as a Buffalo Bills coach. He's got an out coach, whether it's by Andy Reid, even Zach Taylor. He's got an out coach, bro. He's got an out coach, and I think now might be the time to pivot away from McDermott, like you said before.
Yeah, man.
I think it's time.
You have to.
What's happening? And by the way, no disrespect to I'll give Josh Allen the benefit of the doubt for one thing. Like, well, you know what? I don't know, because even at times, like, you were texting and we were texting during the game, like, he was missing some open throws and overthrowing those. Like, I mean, it was just mind-boggling, bro. You're one of the best quarterbacks. You can't be going out like that.
No, and this is why I'm saying the conversation needs to be had. And I've had the same conversation about Lamar Jackson. Underwhelming playoff performances, games where they should have won and they just don't. Him going up against Mahomes personally and they don't win, and he always takes the L. And I've had that conversation, and people get mad at me for saying that he can't win a big game. Meanwhile, it's true. He can't win a big playoff game. And guess what? Josh Allen is now emerging as somebody that can't win a big playoff game. And this has been evident for the last couple of years. And it's hard to say, but guess what? It's the truth. Bills fans see it. Bills fans especially will say, we can't get over the hump. And if you want to blame McDermott, go ahead. But guess what? McDermott's not out there fumbling 3 times and throwing 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
You could question some of the play calling. Like we were saying, what's with the screens?
Yeah.
The first down screen plays. Enough of that. Be aggressive.
Absolutely.
What are we doing? Like, it's vanilla play calling, and McDermott's not out there fumbling, like I said, 3 times and throwing 2 picks.
He's not.
He's not the one turning the ball over, shooting themselves in the foot, losing by 3. And guess what? Bo Nix, people got to stop hating on Bo Nix, man. This guy played very well. He's very good. He's very good, and I'm sure he's going to come back next year. Hopefully to start the season, he'll be good for September for week
hopefully.
1. But for week 1, but. Josh Allen has got to be in the conversation. Guy, he can't win a big game. And you think the Chiefs are going to be bad like they were this year?
No,
I don't know, man. I think that front office is gonna figure it out and fix that roster, and
exactly.
It's going to be business as usual. So Josh Allen better buckle up, and same for Lamar, because I don't think it's going to be easy.
No, it's not. And at least Lamar, we have the thing where he's getting a new coach. I think Josh Allen might get a new coach as well. It just depends how the Bills front office sees it. I mean, truly, they love McDermott. You could clearly tell. But, the Ravens did love Harbaugh as well, but they made that decision to part ways. So, look, it's only time will tell at this point, but that's something to keep an eye on. Yes, this was a classic game right here in the playoffs, and the Broncos are moving on to the AFC Championship. And as we talk about our preview to the AFC Championship, we are now going to have to talk about it with Jarrett Stidham as QB1 for the Broncos. And that's crazy. Like, even the thought of that is insane. I think I immediately thought when I found out the news about Bo Nix's injury, I thought, is Zach Wilson still on the roster? Because I know he was a Bronco before. No, he's not. He's with the Dolphins. I bet they wish they had Zach Wilson, though. Believe it or not. That would have been insane. Yeah. Zach Wilson in an AFC Championship game.
I mean, I don't think you could say that you would wish for Zach Wilson. I think you'd be in the same boat. Jarrett Stidham was Zach Wilson. You're holding your breath. and you're
Yeah,
probably praying to the gods anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, that's true. I just, yeah, it's gonna be super interesting how that plays out. I mean, hopefully a week, gives them a good time to, really make this game plan
Yeah,
happen. But
to
I don't know.
gel, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, man. It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know. It's
tough.
gonna be super tough. But anything's possible. Like we said, we've seen it with that Philly run in 2017, I believe it was. Nick Foles coming into play. I know he's not no Nick Foles, but look, if
Right.
you can manage the game at least somewhat, don't turn the ball over. We'll see. I saw right now just looking at the chances. They're plus 200, I believe, against the Patriots and plus 189 against the Texans.
Wow.
Hypothetically
Okay.
speaking. So they're immediate underdogs with no Bo Nix. I'm pretty sure it would have been flipped around if, Bo Nix was playing, though. I'll say that. So this was a great game, and we'll see how the Broncos move forward, and we'll see what happens to the Bills in this important offseason for them. Oh, real quick, before we move on, the Bills need to go get a wide receiver one. They have jobbers out
Oh
there. Like, no
man,
disrespect,
great.
man.
That's a great point. We were talking about that off air, and listen, they did the best they can. Obviously, but they gotta get like a guy. They have to go get a guy that really has done it before. Go get a
Yeah.
veteran. Go make a trade for someone. I don't know who's even like available. Maybe in the trade market for a big receiver, but I don't know. Maybe trade a couple of defensive guys to Cincinnati for Higgins.
Yeah,
Maybe
something, bro.
maybe they could like alleviate some financial pressure there and shore up the defense in Cincinnati. I think that maybe be a good idea, but they got to do something. They got to help Allen in the pass game.
Yeah, they do. You're right. All right, let's move on to the last game tonight, or the second to. No, this was the only game on night. So, yeah, we have the Seahawks absolutely demolishing the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, I really tuned off. I was watching the game with some of my guys, and my friend is a 49ers fan, and game was over by the second quarter, if I could be honest. Game was
Yeah,
over when it was 17-0. Seahawks win final score 41-6. JB, I'll throw it to you. What are your thoughts on this absolute crushing of the Seattle Seahawks to the Niners?
I mean, are we gonna just admit that Brock Purdy is just a mid quarterback? I mean, let's just be real. He's another guy that's not going to win a big game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think he's ever going to make it past the first or second round. I just think he's as good as he is. I don't think he's going to get any better. And you could say, yeah, he had no George Kittle, and that was a big factor. They haven't been able to run the football
They haven't.
effectively the last couple of weeks. You know, and I don't think they involved CMC enough. To be honest with you, I think they should have game planned a little bit better trying to get him the football. And they also didn't involve Juwan Jennings enough either. And I don't know if that's more credit to the Seattle's defense for really being that great, or if it was just a lack of preparedness from the San Francisco 49ers. And honestly, they just looked lost. And not for nothing, it was 17-0, like you had mentioned. And then they did kick 2 field goals to make it 17-6. It looked like they were gaining some momentum. Then they did get another stop, and I was like, oh, if they score a touchdown here and go down 17-13, this is going to be a whole different ball game. They never caught any momentum. They just looked completely lost. They had a couple of 3-and-outs. I think they had like 2 or 3 first downs after the 2 field goals that they kicked. They couldn't really scrounge up any yards. And Seattle ran the football fantastic. I mean, they had
Yeah, they did.
175 yards on the ground. Sam Darnold, everybody was concerned about his injury. He only threw 17 times for 125 yards. He was efficient too. He completed 70% of his passes. So when he was called upon, he was effective, and he threw a touchdown pass as well. So if they're going to run the football like that, they're not going to need Sam Darnold to throw 30 times, which is going to be key.
Yeah.
But let's see how that plays out and see, how that works now in the NFC Championship game. But this was a stomping. I mean, Shanahan's going to have to really maybe sit down with management and figure out what they're going to do, because I don't think Brock Purdy's the answer at quarterback. I think they're going to have to look maybe and get better in the wideout area as well. I don't think the combination of Purcell and Juwan Jennings is good enough. I think they're good, but I don't think they're just good enough to win. What is Kittle going to be next year? Is he going to be out? He's probably going to be out. Maybe missed the first couple of weeks of the season. Not too sure what his timeline is. So this team has question marks. They got a
Yeah.
lot of question marks, bro.
Yeah, I think with Seahawks did perfect in this game running the football. Obviously, Charbonnet went out with a knee injury. It looks like no structural damage. So, for the most part, I think he'll be good for next week in the NFC Championship game. But Kenneth Walker took over this game. Great second half he's had so far. And the start to his postseason, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he did incredible work today. It took like 4 Niners to bring him down at a point. Like at the third quarter, they looked gassed. The Niners defenders looked sloppy. I mean, they look like they had the JV squad out there, to be honest. They look, I mean, they were cooked, bro. They were cooked. Sam Darnold, I feel like this was going to be the game plan all along with the oblique injury. Not really force a big throw down the field. Just keep it very conservative. But guess what? It worked, and they scored 41 points off of it. And the Niners had some very stupid turnovers. Like, I mean, Purdy making some throws that, like, the interception he had, bro, like, why are you throwing it, bro? Like, I mean, it was so mind-boggling. But look, I'll say this Seahawks team and this Seahawks defense, bro, this is a very scary side, bro. They call themselves the dark side is what I was hearing. And look, this is like I've said it before in a previous video, this is like Legion of Boom 2.0 because they are they were abusing Purdy out there, taking his lunch money again. They played him week 18. This is their first game in the playoffs. They abused them again. And we kind of all expected this to happen. I think I didn't have this game being close. Maybe I did with the Sam Darnold updated prediction with the oblique, but at the same time, I never thought the Seahawks were going to lose this game. And the way that they rush the football, and the way I feel like another week of Sam getting some rest, resting the oblique, whether if he's going to play the Bears or Rams, spoiler alert, I think they could beat both teams. As long as he's not turning over the football and he's a little bit more conservative. Look, bro, I think this is the Super Bowl team. And now, I mean, I had the Broncos winning the Super Bowl. I don't want to give no spoiler alert. I think this is the team. This is the team of the year.
Yeah,
more so.
I had Denver and Seattle going to the Super Bowl as well. That was my pick for the NFC was Seattle, and the AFC was Denver. I'm going to stick with it just to stick with it, just and play it out. But I'm really confident with Seattle with the way they're playing right now. Honestly, like I said, if they can help Sam Darnold out in the run game like this consistently, and he doesn't have to do too much with his arm, they're still going to be dangerous offensively.
Absolutely.
And their defense, like you said, they can make a stop at will and get the ball right back to their offense, and they can just march down the field at will as well. So they're a very well coached team as well, bro.
Yeah,
they're very disciplined. They're very disciplined and detail oriented, and they're a very well-oiled machine right now, and they're pretty scary in the NFC. And whoever they play, the Bears or the Rams, it's gonna be a great matchup, honestly, in the NFC.
Yeah, and then we have 2 more games tomorrow that we'll get into. We have Patriots-Texans, which I bet both teams are looking at that game now like, wow, this is our chance at a Super Bowl right here. I mean, look, we have a huge opportunity right in front of us. And then we have Bears-Rams. It's going to be super cold in Chicago. So that's going to be a very exciting game to watch. Will Stafford bring the Rams back to the NFC Championship game, or will the Bears continue this magical run that they're currently on? So a lot of great football to be played. But, I mean, what a turn of events like in the football world today. Kevin Stefanski also got hired by the Falcons. Pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty cool for them.
And John Harbaugh's officially a New York Giant now. So, the contract was finally signed. So
there's a lot. There's a lot that's happened. And what a chaotic day in the football world. Obviously, the thing that hurts me the most, like I said, it's the Bo Nix one, because I think if he didn't get injured, I think that could be. And you know what? I'm not trying to, like I said, crap on Jarrett Stidham. We'll see what he got, but like, I think if
it's going to be tough, man. Like we said, it's tough.
If he has to face the Houston defense, or even, like I said, I know the Patriots defense doesn't have a lot of household names, but if he has to face the Patriots, like, I don't know if they could win either or of those matchups, if I could be quite honest. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see, but what an eventful day, specifically this last game, the Seahawks absolutely trashing the Niners. What a game this was, beating. Yeah, I guess we'll just see what happens. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up more so?
No, just to wrap this game up, I the one thing I didn't like from the Niners offense as well was that the fact that Brock Purdy sometimes doesn't look great in the pocket and doesn't sense pressure too well.
That's a great point.
And that's something that I don't understand. Like, do you want to get completely killed in the pocket all the time? Like, I'm not too sure. So. I feel like he's got to fix that moving forward if he's going to be the starting quarterback for this team.
Yeah, and you saw Mac Jones and all the reserves come in at the end. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was also like crazy. Like I can't believe this is a playoff game and they got the subs coming in. It's like, how did this get that out of hand? You know
Yeah,
what I
you had
mean?
Drew Lock coming in for the Seahawks. I mean, Bellish Jones. I mean, once you get guys like that in, look, congratulations, you got an opportunity to play in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens. Like I said, there's a lot of storylines we're going to be talking here in JBM this upcoming week, heading into AFC Championship and NFC Championship weekend. It's going to be some very, very, very exciting topics to go over, especially if we have that conversation, the Allen Lamar aspect of it, even Burrow to an extent, Herbert for sure. That would be a fun video, so stay tuned for that one. But honestly, I think the games tomorrow are going to live up and be a little bit better, especially than the game later. I mean, the game that happened tonight. I hope we're going to get some better games, specifically that Rams-Bears game. I think it's going to be completely fire.
Yeah, I want to see how the Rams do in like severe cold weather.
Yeah.
I want to see how battle tested they really could be in a hostile environment like Chicago as well. So, and not to disrespect Carolina's fans or their intensity, but I think at Soldier Field it's just going to be
Oh, absolutely.
a wild atmosphere, and they're hungry. So it's just going to be a crazy game to me. So I want to see how Stafford and those guys handle that type of adversity. So we'll see how that works tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And let us know what you guys thought about the games that happened today, predictions for the games tomorrow in the comment section. Follow us on IG JBM Sports Media and TikTok JBM Sports Media. Subscribe here on YouTube. Until then, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.